Hello everybody, Kerry Shuck here alongside Carter Baum. Now Carter, the Oklahoma City Barons lose to the Lake Erie Monsters 5-4 in a shootout, breaking the 6-game win streak, but they're now on a 7-game point streak.
Yeah, it was kind of a heartbreaking loss. It's kind of bittersweet because they trailed by 2 goals in the third period, and you were sitting there thinking, I thought they had a chance, but you were sitting there thinking that it was over, the streak was over, but they did a nice job in the third, got 2 goals late. Power play came through once again late in the third, and they were able to get to a shootout, which they haven't had much success on all year, but they got the point tonight, and going into the playoff stretch, that's really what matters.
1-6 now in shootouts. Now, I was going to ask a question. I posed this question to Jim Byers, and I'm going to get your take on it.
Okay, I'm ready.
6-game winning streak, the beard. 7-game point streak, keep the beard, or now that the 6-game win streak is snapped, shave the beard?
I think you shave 1/2 of it because you got 1 out of 2 points tonight. So you can decide which side. It's fine, this side or this side, but right down the middle, one side's got to stay.
I don't know if we'll get away with that, but we'll see what happens.
Worth a shot.
Well, let's talk about Brad Hunt's play. I mean, he scores 1 goal and has 3 assists, playing really great tonight.
Yeah, he contributed in all 4 goals tonight for the Barons. It was really a good game from him, especially as a defenseman. You don't ever see that. And he said it after the game, it's just one of those games where when you're hot, you feel invincible out there on the ice, and he was really just on top of his game tonight, and it was nice to see.
Let me ask you a question. Going into the shootout with the 5 players that are picked, Brad not out there, but Gernat and some other players, why do the coaches pick certain players to go out in certain times to shoot those penalty shots?
Well, Coach Nelson kind of addressed that after the game. He said, sometimes it's a matter, you have your consistencies like Jack Combs, who we've seen has been good in the shootout since coming to Oklahoma City, and you have your players like that who, like Lander, are going to go because they're just that good. And then on the other side of that, it's just kind of who's really feeling it tonight. I think Gernat does have a good chance. We've seen him in shootout before, and it's just a game of guessing, really.
Yeah. And Gernat, you're right. He had some shots on goal tonight that were close, and he plays really well when he gets out there and shot. I just wondered how they usually take from that. Well, now that the 6-game winning streak is over and they head to Grand Rapids and in Toronto, what do they have to do to get back on that streak? Yeah,
it's not a good weekend coming up for the chances of them getting on another streak. A very tough weekend, 3-3, 2 games in Grand Rapids, who has been a good team this year. They've struggled as of late a little bit, but a Grand Rapids team that knocked the Barons out of the playoffs in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals last year. It's Oklahoma City's first trip back there since then. So not a whole lot of the same players here, but it's definitely on the coaching staff mind and some of the veterans of that's what happened last year. And then after 2 games there, you travel overnight and play an afternoon game in Toronto, which bodes well for no one. You're gonna have to fly up there or bus up there depending on how it goes, and try and get a couple hours of sleep and go right back at it. So you have 3 games in 2.5 days, essentially.
And one thing about the Barons going into it could be have their back against the wall because Grand Rapids is a good team at home and lost 2 straight to the San Antonio Rampage. They're coming back kind of like the Barons are. They were dead in the cellar, and now they're coming back and just behind the Barons now in points.
Yeah, Coach Nelson jokingly said, he hopes they play a game between now and Friday night because you don't want to see a team like Grand Rapids who's lost 2 straight and has even more motivation to come out and play well. But it's going to be a battle no matter what all weekend long. 3 tough games, and the travel's not going to help for the Barons.
Next home game, February 28th. That will be Special Olympics night. Have a lot of people coming out here, a lot of fans, and hopefully get back on that winning streak. Hopefully they'll have the winning streak on the road, but then get back on that home winning streak.
Yeah, it's a great night for the Barons and for fans, and also for the Special Olympics of Oklahoma. The Barons will be wearing special jerseys on that night that will be auctioned off after the game, and all that money goes to the Special Olympics of Oklahoma. So it's a great night. It's a great cause for fans to come out and really support the Special Olympics, and the entire team and the entire organization really gets behind that night.
All right, well, thank you, Carter, for joining me again. For Carter Baum, I'm Kerry Shuck, Barons TV.